course, everyone who's been on live, guys, for the recorded version, you're gonna be a little confused, but me and Bruce had a slight argument, disagrees, because he can't stop mentioning Dak Prescott every time we do a segment. But before you even go, we're not gonna get into that. We're here with Danny Martin, founder of Geekletes and one of the leads in eSports. Danny, like I said, once again, we appreciate you for joining us, man. We appreciate you for giving us this creative spot to be as creative as possible.
Yes.
First and foremost, for everyone who's watching this, what is eSports?
Man, it's awesome. I'm glad you asked me that question. This is a phenomenon that a lot of individuals within the community has been experiencing for many, many years. It's a phenomenon to a lot of individuals who have not been experiencing eSports. And eSports is essentially when you're playing a game with an intense action. And that intense action deals with intense skill sets. You know, skill sets that develop over time, many years. Or it can be, you know, like the amount of hours that you play inside of a game. Esports is considered competitive games such as Counter-Strike, which is a shooter, Street Fighter, which is a fighter game, NBA 2K, which is a sports game, and a whole host of other games that can be played on a optimum level to where you just can't just hop on the game and be really good at it.
So with what's expected from gamers joining in esports? The level of competition is high. This is just, you're just online and you're playing someone you don't know, whatever the case is. This is team formulated. The continuity has to be built. What's expected from gamers joining esports?
Well, a high IQ. You know, when you think of esports, it's less physical, right? So therefore, that energy has to be produced somewhere, and typically in the mind, right? It's your how well you think, how fast you can think. What is your dexterity, you know, and then also your camaraderie. You'll find a lot of leaders are produced within the esports communities because you have to use your mouth, you have to communicate. And if you can't communicate, you're not going to win because it's very intense. And you're competing against a whole another team that's communicating intensely. And you know, from an esports perspective, you know, the engagement is high. You know, like. And I don't want to I always kind of go from, because this is my way of action of professional sports, traditional sports and esports. I know you guys are very, very knowledgeable in regards to traditional sports, and you guys are learning the dynamics of esports. And one of the cool things about esports is the engagement. You know, typically when you're watching, as we're watching Clippers and Golden State, they're playing right now. You know, you can't interact with them, right? In regards to esports, while their individuals are playing, you can interact with them, which makes the engagement that much higher. So you really feel like you're in the game with that person that's competing.
Take us back, D. Take us back to what brought Danny Martin into esports.
Man, so if I had to sum it up, because we do not have that much time, but to sum it up, it was a passion of mine while I ran track in college. And when you run track in college, you still got to find another means to make money. Because
one second, I'm always surprised that Danny's such an athlete. He always tells us, he's a swimmer body type. I didn't get that when I first came in here, man. I was like, Danny must be wired on esports and game. And only then I heard he hooping, track, football probably.
Just because you got two left feet,
hey man,
I mean this man. All right. The athleticism transferred over.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so from that dynamic, you know, I was always having to put in my mindset I have to make some type of capital outside of it, you know. With tracks, you don't really get full scholarships, you know. If anything, you don't even get a scholarship. You may get your books paid for, if that, right?
A partial,
whatever, you know. And it's just due to the NCAA rule sets on scholarships. But with that dynamic, you have to find ways to make money. And from that perspective, I have always been interested in actual electronics. In high school, I would put in individual stereo systems. I would put in my own stereo system in my car. And I just was always fascinated by the ohms and all the sound dynamics around it. So electronics for me, when I was in college, it was the same dynamic of finding Xboxes and PlayStations and manipulating them, but most importantly, repairing them with the red rings of death. And I started to create a business from that dynamic. And, you know, I had a teacher who was like, oh man, you know, like you running a whole business in school. Individuals are really talking to us about it, you know. And from that dynamic, you know, she reached me out to an individual in San Francisco who gave me a great opportunity to really learn a technology standpoint. So merging the hardware to the software really helped me fulfill a niche within the gaming industry, as we're doing right now.
I feel like, man, this is a great opportunity for all of us up here.
Yeah, for sure.
My question to you is, where do you see Geekletes esports and just the whole platform for all of this in the next 10 years?
Yes, for sure. That's a great question. So in regards to NBA 2K, NBA 2K and NBA 2K NBA League, the NBA and Take-Two created NBA 2K League, and essentially what this is they have $1 million prize purse, and they will recruit 102 players that represent 17 teams, 6 players on each team. And from a pro-am perspective, there's 6 players, right? On the court, there's 5 players. So these individuals are interacting with their own skill sets. You have a center, power forward, and the game is called archetypes. So you have a sharpshooter, shot creator, you have all type of different archetypes that you can choose, and you stay with that archetype. And the cool thing about it is the fact that right now, there's so many individuals that play NBA 2K in regards to, in the combine it was 76,000. NBA 2K right now just offered 32 million to China copies for free. You know, so there's so many individuals that are in the scene. Well, if you look at the dynamic, there's 102 players that's only going to get recruited, which means there's thousands and thousands of people that's going to be looking for what's that next opportunity. So for in regards to your question, the next 10 years, the whole goal is to solidify Geekletes as that great recruiting tool and that platform to allow individuals to be able to show what they have, their talents, and we can be able to take that data and provide it to the managers of the NBA 2K League so they can see exactly what's necessary for their next route so they can compete and win that championship amongst the NBA.
I know that, like I have 2 sons, you know, a 1-year-old and a 5-year-old, and I feel like, man, when my son turns 10, 11, 12, he may be saying to me, hey, Dad, I need to get 2K 2020, 2025 and get on here because I have an opportunity to get a scholarship.
Exactly,
or, you know, take it to the next level, and I think that'll be a great opportunity. Of course, with technology evolving every day, technology is fluid. I think it'll be a great thing for people to get paid to play the game. When your mom used to tell you, I'm taking the game away from you.
Now she can't do it. Now she can't do it.
I gotta
make this money.
I keep the lights, I keep the gas on, mama.
Gas on with the game.
With LeBron James.
Yeah, for sure.
That's gonna be the name of, you know,
now the one thing I want to bring out, you know, because this is the most critical data that a lot of parents will look at, and it's the physical aspect. You know, if you're tailoring your kids to say, hey, go play games, it's, well, why he needs to get outside. Well, the dynamic of it is you're still a parent, you know, at the same sense. You can go out and tell an individual, go out and get some exercise. I mean, these players are you know, they're provided with nutritionists, and they're going to be exercising because they know exercise is still a part, it helps your brain move real quick, you know. So it's, as a parent, you know, instead of saying, I don't want my kids to play games, it's find the information and allow your kids do what they're passionately doing all the time, but also say, hey, you should do this and do this and do this to help this be better, you know? And when you're playing games, as I stated at the beginning, these are skill sets that can roll over to the real world, you know, like camaraderie, leadership, teammates, you know, calming your anger, problem solving, you know, your reaction times, you know, being able to think critically. All of these dynamics is you're going to be able to take these and apply it in any workspace. And then in regards to technology and esports growing so fast, there's going to be, if you don't become a professional gamer, you can become a designer, you can become a spokesperson, you can become a spectator, a shoutcaster, you know, you can come, PR, any type of dynamic, you know, and you will be able to categorize or be able to say, hey, I was able to implement those skills because I played games, you know.
You've given this avenue to players who, you know, are on the game, who spend their time in the game. How important is it for the NBA to look at this aspect and say, hey, there's something here for us that's just not on the court?
Yes. I think for me as being an entrepreneur, I just want to say entrepreneur, it's just, even though that is, it's just being a person that loves, that's passionately about NBA, NBA 2K, and gaming in general. It's the ability to be able to, one, create something that a kid can say, I have another opportunity. Especially in our dynamics and from a minority perspective, we've been pushed to go to the NBA. I can't speak on a lot of them, but when I was growing up, my uncles and my mom, I will feel good when mom say, oh, he's going to go to the NBA. My son's going to go to the NBA. Or my uncle will be like, oh, he can dribble that ball, and I'm this tall, you know. I will feel like, you know, I'm about to go to the NBA, you know. And if everybody's talking to you when you're around them, they're gonna, my son or my daughter or my whatever is gonna go to the NBA. You think that if you don't go to the NBA, you fail. You know?
True.
So my dynamic is like, hey, you know, like I pressured myself so much in school because I was just, I gotta be good in athletics. And when I wasn't, or if I wasn't as good as somebody else, then it'd be like, God, I'm letting my family down. So my dynamic is trying to create an avenue for individuals to say, okay, well, I can go over here, you know, and I won't be, and I can still be successful from that dynamic, you know. So that's why it's very pertinent that the NBA and that these teams get involved, because you're literally giving hope to an individual who may not have hope.
Well, what is the message that you would like to get out, you know, regarding esports, like, you know, your final message as far as encouraging, whether it be gamers, NBA, you know, in their gaming. What's the word I'm looking for? The people who are over that aspect. What is the message the message that you would like to give out?
From the investors that get involved, to the managers, to the owners of the teams, recognize the position you in and take it serious. Because right now, at this moment, you have so many young eyes and so many young eyes to come that's going to be looking at this as their next time, their next opportunity. And this opportunity may not come again. I won't say it won't come again, but this opportunity right now in regards to esports and the dynamics of how fast it's going to grow, you may not see it. It's like another gold rush. It's like a Bitcoin. It's like a, you know, it's an opportunity right now to get involved in some way. So I speak on, you know, taking this serious, and then from a gamer's perspective, if you're younger, if you want to get in this industry, study. You have companies like Twitch that got acquired for over $1 billion, you know, and, you know, by Amazon, and just the fact that it's a platform that provides individuals with insight, so you can be able to see other gamers that are good. You can learn from them. You can study. You can ask questions. And so really, as a gamer, professional gamer, is really trying to be able to utilize your resources and get out there and be good.
Guys, we encourage you guys to check out Geekletes, check out what Danny Martin is doing in esports. Got a lot of NBA 2K tournaments and stuff coming up later in the year, and a lot of big things coming from esports, and we hope that the NBA takes notice of this more and gets all of their teams entrenched into what esports and Geekletes is doing. But keep tuned in to Spot On Sports as well. Comment, rate, subscribe, drop us a like. Drop Danny a like as well on Geekletes, YouTube/Geekletes. Bruce, my man.
What's good, man?
This is a good segment when you're not trying to argue me.
I'm not here for the.
I love you though, man. All right.
I'm here for the actual factuals, you know.
Yeah, right. Well, it's an actual fact that the subscribe button is below this video. You got a mouse. Click that. Spot On Sports here at Geekletes Studios, and we will see you guys next time.
Geekletes.
Take it easy, guys.